Here's a mind-bending fact. Scientists have discovered our brains can form new neural connections well into our 90s. Yet somehow we've convinced ourselves that learning has an expiration date.
That really challenges everything we assume about aging and cognitive ability, doesn't it?
You know, I've been diving into this fascinating story about Gloria and her niece Emily that completely shatters these age-related learning myths. At 50, Gloria decided to become a student again, but what happened next surprised everyone.
Let's talk about what actually happens in our brains when we learn later in life.
Well, research from the National Institute on Aging shows that older brains actually have some distinct advantages. They make more complex connections thanks to decades of accumulated knowledge and experience.
That reminds me of the studies showing people over 50 often outperform younger learners in problem-solving tasks that require pattern recognition.
Exactly. And here's what's fascinating about Gloria's experience. She found that her life experience gave her this incredible foundation for connecting new concepts to existing knowledge. It's like she had this rich mental framework already built.
So what specifically motivated her to start this journey with her niece?
You know, it's interesting. She mentioned that watching Emily's enthusiasm for continuous learning sparked something in her. But there was also this moment of realization that she'd been using age as an excuse to avoid challenging herself.
That must have been quite a psychological barrier to overcome.
The research on this is pretty compelling. Studies show that our beliefs about aging can actually affect our cognitive performance. When we believe we can learn, our brains literally respond differently to challenges.
That's making me think about all the untapped potential out there.
Right? And get this, a recent study from MIT showed that older learners often have better metacognition. They understand how they learn best and can strategize more effectively.
Well, that certainly flips the script on traditional assumptions about aging and learning.
And here's another surprising finding: social learning, like what Gloria and Emily practiced, can increase memory retention by up to 40% compared to studying alone.
That social aspect seems to have been crucial to their success.
Absolutely crucial. They created what psychologists call a learning partnership, where both parties contribute different strengths. Emily brought tech-savvy and fresh perspectives, while Gloria contributed wisdom and life experience.
Did they encounter any specific challenges along the way?
Oh man, plenty. Gloria talked about initially struggling with imposter syndrome, that feeling that you don't belong. But here's what's interesting: research shows this feeling is actually more common in older learners, despite their often superior performance.
That psychological aspect of learning later in life seems so crucial, yet often overlooked.
You're right. And what's fascinating is how they turn these challenges into advantages. They developed this approach they called wisdom learning, combining Emily's quick absorption of new information with Gloria's ability to see deeper patterns and connections.
That's such an innovative approach to intergenerational learning.
And it's backed by science. Studies show that mixed-age learning environments can boost creativity and problem-solving abilities for all participants. It's like this beautiful cognitive symbiosis.
So what's the broader implication for society as our population ages?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. The World Health Organization predicts that by 2050, people over 60 will make up 22% of the global population. If we can tap into this massive potential for continued learning and growth, imagine the possibilities.
That could revolutionize how we think about education and personal development.
Exactly. And Gloria and Emily's story shows us it's not just about learning new skills, It's about creating these incredible connections across generations, challenging our assumptions, and redefining what's possible at any age.
What a powerful message to end on.
Indeed. As we wrap up today's episode, remember this. Your brain doesn't come with an expiration date. The capacity for growth and learning is lifelong. It's just waiting for you to embrace it. This is Gen FM, signing off until next time.